Welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina, and this is part 2 of my Sweet Audrina discussion. And I will be discussing the sequel to the book, which is called White Fern. This was written by Andrew Niederman, and it came out under the name V.C. Andrews. And he's her official ghostwriter, if you want to call it that. This book came out in 2016. So quite a gap between the first and second book. There are only 2 books in this series. And I'm wondering why. I think that just the way this book ends, I think that there is room for not only more about Audrina's life and Sylvia's life, the little baby Adele, but also going back in time, like most of these series will do, and then do something about Damien, about Lucietta and Elsbeth, and get into their life, and a whole book about Vera, because she could fill an entire library with her antics, and she's really my favorite character. I just like Fanny, you gotta love her, even though she's extremely evil. But White Fern, I went on Goodreads, and I just was kind of shocked at all the really negative reviews for this book, because I'm going to give this book 5 stars just on pure enjoyment. I really had fun with this book. I know people complain about Andrew Niederman, but I think first of all, I think he's a great writer. He knows exactly what he's doing with this, trying to find the themes of V.C. Andrews, which is really not that easy, because she was such a unique writer. She's not just writing your average thriller, paint-by-number kind of book or romance. It's really its own thing. And that's why we love it, but it's also hard to emulate. And I think he does a fine job. So, Andrew Niederman, if you're watching this, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of your other books, too. But anyway, let's get into White Fern. So this starts with Damien has passed on, and Arden and Audrina are living as man and wife at White Fern with Sylvia. And Sylvia has grown up. She is now a teenager, and she's blossoming, and she's beautiful, and she's I think actually it starts when she's still a child and then kind of grows into her teen years. But she's like an innocent because she's mentally challenged, although she's able to do things like cook, and her speech has improved, and she's really into doing artwork, but she's kind of in her own world. And Sylvia loves going up in the cupola and with the stained glass and working on her artwork. And everything seems to be going well, except that Arden has turned into a real a-hole, which happens to some of these male characters. And like I said in my other video, there's nothing more dangerous than a weak man. I would take Damien any day over a weakling like Arden. He's trying to turn into Damien. And Damien was more the egotistical patriarch, but also strong-willed. And yeah, he was a complete a-hole. But Arden, in trying to emulate him, is even worse, in my opinion. So he's taken over the family business. He's trying to get Audrina to sign over all of her assets, because Damien left over half the business and all the estate to Audrina, which was smart, because Arden would, with his poor investments, would put them right into the poorhouse, and they would lose White Fern and everything. So there's a lot of tension between Arden and Audrina. As Sylvia is growing, Audrina has a lot more responsibility to take care of her. Arden is still not satisfied with their sex life, and he wants to have kids. He wants them to have a child. And Audrina is still kind of frigid, although she is, she's trying, still haunted by the past, still unraveling all of that. So I'm not going to go through the entire plot of this like I tried with My Sweet Audrina, because I just finished this, but I didn't take notes or anything. So a local retired art teacher comes to give Sylvia lessons, and Audrina discovers that he's having her pose in the nude, and she walks in on them, and immediately, she doesn't call the police or anything, but she just get out of my house, leave my sister alone. And he's like, oh, it was art. You don't understand. She was being my art model or whatever. And Audrina's like, get out. So things get a little weird when Audrina's asleep one night, and she wakes up and she's hearing noises. Sylvia's been going into the rocking chair. You think they would have stripped the room down, thrown out the rocking chair, which they do in the Lifetime movie, I've noticed, but Audrina's the one that's hanging on to these memories. But she hears Sylvia talking to someone. Sylvia's drawing a baby and saying, the baby's coming. Papa's telling me a baby's coming. Well, it turns out that she is pregnant. She becomes pregnant, and they assume it's the art teacher. But they don't want to make a scandal, so again, keep the lid on it. It's a family secret. We're just going to not say anything to anyone. And Arden comes up with this great idea. We'll pretend, and this is going back to shades of Vera and Elsbeth. We're going to pretend that you, Audrina, are the pregnant one. And Arden's really happy about this. He's real excited. And we'll hide Sylvia's pregnancy, and she won't know any different because she's mentally challenged. So Sylvia isn't really even aware of what's happening to her body. She just knows the baby's coming, but she has no idea what's going on. And Audrina goes along with this plan against her better judgment, and he brings home this great character who has echoes of Mrs. Danvers. Her name is Mrs. Matthews, who is this nurse, kind of like a Nurse Ratched. And she's going to take care of Sylvia. She's going to deliver the baby when the time comes because she's got experience. She's been there. And she's like this. I just love the way she's described with these thin lips. And she's just when she smiles, her skin is so thin, her jawbone's going to pop through her skin. There was some description like that I thought was really, really well done. And she's, this skinny, mean, nasty woman. A trope we've seen in V.C. Andrews' work before and love. So, and she takes over the whole household. She starts ordering Audrina around, Audrina's working for her. Audrina has to, almost like in a surrogate pregnancy, she wears a fake belly to mimic pregnancy. Well, in case anyone sees her, they'll know that she's the pregnant one, not Sylvia. Sylvia's kept under wraps, and her mental health is deteriorating because she's pregnant and she doesn't really know what's going on. Arden's got it all worked out. Mrs. Matthews there running the show. She has the baby. It's a very traumatic birth in a lot of ways. A little baby girl she names Adele. Audrina takes over the part of being the mother. So she's in on the deception as well. And there's a couple scenes where she goes to the grocery store and people see her and they know that she's the pregnant one. And Arden is, he wants to maintain the reputation of his firm and not have any scandals. And like I said, he's over the moon because he's so happy that this baby's coming. This art teacher's baby. But here's the twist. And of course, I saw it coming a mile away. It's not the art teacher's baby because the art teacher's wife shows up late in the book. The art teacher died because his health declined because of the shame that he felt over what happened to Sylvia. It turns out he was just being artistic, although what he did was wrong. It could be argued because she couldn't really give consent. The wife comes over and tells Audrina that she was really sorry and the husband was really filled with guilt and it was just artistic inspiration. He got carried away at how beautiful Sylvia is, and he just wanted to paint her bare breasts, and it was innocent. But Audrina says, "How dare you? He raped my sister and got her pregnant," and comes out with it. She's the one. This is his child. And then this is like an Italian opera at this point. And of course, I saw the twist coming a mile away, where the wife said, "My husband was not impotent, infertile, and he couldn't." We had to adopt our children. He wasn't able to produce children naturally. And then it hits Audrina. It's Arden. Little Adele is Arden's child. Of course, it all makes sense now. So Arden is kind of what's the big deal? She confronts him. And at this point, he's just like a complete bastard. Oh, what's the big deal? He's, drinking his, shooting down shots of brandy like he does every night. I think we should get Sylvia to have a boy. Why not? This is great. We have a family. And Audrina's like, how dare you? You raped my sister. And now you just want to use her as a surrogate and she can't consent to this. You're crazy. Guess what happens? He's at the top of the stairs. He's had a little too much to drink. Did the ghost of Vera push him? Or did Sylvia push him? Or did he just fall? Anyway, he ends up at the bottom of the stairs with a broken neck, and he's dead. And that's where it ends in White Fern. This book is crazy, and it's great. Like I said, 5 stars for complete enjoyment. Is it as good as the original Sweet Audrina? No, of course not, because all the characters in Dysfunction are originally produced by V.C. Andrews, but then Andrew Niederman did a really good job with this book, in my opinion. I'm just wondering why it didn't continue, or maybe it will continue, because I think it could go on, and we could go back in time, and it would be a lot of fun. And I also did watch the Lifetime movie. It's probably like 10 years old now, and I don't know why they didn't follow it up with White Fern, because they could. It's only My Sweet Audrina. It actually follows the book pretty well, and it's actually done really well. I love those Lifetime movie versions. Does it cover every aspect of the book? No, but that's always hard to do in a TV show or like a movie. So I thought it was great. I thought the actress who played Audrina was lovely. And Vera. It was a lot of fun, and I recommend you check it out. So that was my exploration a little bit of those 2 books. I would love to see the story continue, and I'm sure you will too. So coming up is the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge that I mentioned before in my last video. I'm really excited to start, and because I finished this book, we're not quite in February, but I'm going to get a jump start on that reading challenge by starting with my first book, because it's a little long, and that is The Au Pair by Emma Roos. This is my challenge for a book with a governess in it, and it sounds very Gothic from the description. So let me know in the comments below if you've read My Sweet Audrina or White Fern. If you'd like to, or you've seen the movie, I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.